The sun rose gently over a quiet Cambodian village as a black SUV approached a small orphanage. The vehicle stopped, catching the attention of children playing in the courtyard. Their laughter faded to whispers as the car door opened, and Angelina Jolie stepped out. Dressed in a white linen shirt and beige pants, her presence was calm and warm. The orphanage appeared aged but resilient, much like the people it sheltered. She paused briefly, taking in the scene before her. Mrs. Lin, the orphanage director, emerged with a kind smile. "Ms. Jolie, it's wonderful to see you again," she said warmly. Angelina shook her hand. "It's great to be back. How have things been?" Mrs. Lin hesitated. "The children are doing their best, but times have been hard. Resources are scarce." Angelina nodded, her gaze shifting to the children watching her with hope. "Let's work together to change that," she said with quiet determination. Inside the orphanage, the air was warm and filled with faint echoes of children's laughter. Angelina walked through the modest hallways, her eyes scanning the walls adorned with old photographs. One picture caught her attention. It was from her visit years ago. In the photo, a younger Angelina stood surrounded by smiling children, hope radiating from their faces. Mrs. Lin stood beside her. "You've left quite a mark here," she said softly. Angelina smiled, her voice tinged with emotion. "This place changed me as much as I hoped to change it." Mrs. Lin nodded. "The children still remember that day, but things have been harder lately. We've had to make do with so little." Angelina placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We'll find a way to make things better." In the garden, Angelina noticed a young boy tending to a small vegetable patch. He looked up hesitantly as she approached. "What's your name?" she asked gently, kneeling slightly to meet his gaze. "Sock," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Mrs. Lin added, "Sock helps grow vegetables to feed the orphanage. He's a hard worker." Angelina smiled. "You're doing an amazing job, Sock. Would you show me what you've grown?" Sock nodded, leading her around the small but thriving garden. Other children joined in, eager to share their work. Angelina listened intently, moved by their resilience and teamwork. In the orphanage's small office, Mrs. Lin handed Angelina a folded letter. "This is from Aaron, one of the children you met during your first visit," she explained. Angelina opened the letter carefully, her eyes scanning the handwritten words. Aaron wrote about how her visit had inspired him to dream bigger and work harder. He had since earned a scholarship and was now studying to become a teacher. As she read, Angelina's expression softened. "I can't believe how much he's accomplished. This is incredible." Mrs. Lin smiled. "He always says it's because of you." Angelina placed the letter gently on the desk. "This is why I'm here. Let's make sure every child has the same opportunity." The letter described Aaron's journey, a story of determination and hope. A flashback revealed a younger Aaron standing proudly outside a simple village school, holding books and smiling brightly. He had faced countless challenges but refused to give up. With hard work and support, he had transformed his life, proving that one act of kindness could ripple into something extraordinary. Angelina folded the letter and looked up. If Aaron can achieve this, imagine what the others could do with the right help. Mrs. Lin nodded. "You've already given them hope. Now they need the tools to succeed." Back in the courtyard, Angelina stood surrounded by children and staff. She addressed them with a calm but firm voice. "I see the potential in each of you," she said. "I promise to do everything I can to make sure you have what you need to succeed." The children cheered, holding up handmade signs of gratitude. Mrs. Lin wiped away a tear, overwhelmed by the moment. Angelina smiled, watching their excitement. "This isn't just a promise, it's a commitment. Together, we'll build a better future." Weeks later, the orphanage was transformed. Freshly painted walls, colorful murals, and a vibrant playground now adorned the space. Children played happily, their laughter filling the air, while volunteers worked on final touches. From a distance, Angelina watched the scene unfold. Her expression was one of quiet satisfaction, knowing that the changes would have a lasting impact. Mrs. Lin approached her. "You've given us more than we could have ever imagined." Angelina turned to her, smiling. "You and the children did the real work. I just helped along the way." In front of the orphanage, children gathered with a large banner reading, "Thank you, Angelina Jolie." Sock stood proudly in the center, holding his own smaller sign with a bright smile. Angelina, standing at a distance, watched the joyful scene. The moment was filled with gratitude, hope, and the promise of a brighter future. As she turned to leave, her heart felt full. This wasn't just a visit. It was a reminder that even small acts of kindness could create waves of change. Thank you for joining us on this inspiring journey. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stories That Inspire. Together, we can spread hope, one story at a time. See you in our next tale of inspiration.